All set?
Ooh, nice and bright.
Yep.
You good? Okay. Good morning. I have called this press conference today to show my support for the plan being promoted by several members of the community of South Bend. I decided to throw my hat into the ring for mayor, not just so that I have a voice in my community, but wanting to give all citizens a real and equal voice. I have investigated the 21st Century Communication Plan and believe that it will provide equality and inclusion for all citizens by giving them an equal voice on the issues affecting their lives. I also believe that there is not one mayor or 9 members of a council that have the answers to all the problems that we face in South Bend. I will take the efforts of everyone in our community working together, sharing ideas, and giving the citizens a voice in our community. Technology can allow we the people to have a voice in our local government. Our crumbling infrastructure, our failing economic system, our out-of-control crime situation, and many other important issues in our community. Without communication, personal relationships do not work. Businesses fail. Without proper communication technology, I believe that as a community, we would not be able to work or live together. With it, a business can be once again to thrive. This is why I support the plan to give everyone a real and equal voice. If I lived in District 2, I would also vote for Henry Davis because he does try to cut through the political smokescreen that openly questions if some of the ideas being put forth are good for all of the citizens of South Bend or just for the favored few. Thank you. Any questions?
What is the 21st Century Communication Plan exactly?
David, would you like to?
Sure. We've been pushing a plan here in the community for quite some time. What we want to do is we want to use the TV, the radio, and the internet to allow issues to be presented directly to the community. And then we want these issues to be debated so that people in our community are educated on these issues. And then our goal is to build a database that will have your ID number and PIN number, so that on any of these issues that you see over the TV, the radio, or the internet, you can vote with any touch-tone phone. Your call will go into the database, ask you for your ID number and PIN number, ask you what issue number you'd like to vote on. Press 1 for yes, 2 for no, count your vote, block you out from voting more than once. And we can give that information to our elected representatives so that they can actually start representing the people, know how we feel about the different issues.
What's the difference between that and showing up at your councilman's door and saying, hey, I don't like this?
Do you know where your councilman lives? Not everybody knows where their councilmen live. Councilmen don't have meetings monthly like they I honestly believe they should. They should have a meeting every month in their district. That would give them the chance, but they do not. 5-minute chat during the coffee with the mayor really doesn't give you time to tell them how you feel on every issue if you don't know what those issues are in advance. Not everybody knows what's getting ready to come up at a council meeting. This would give everyone the chance to know what's coming up and give them the opportunity to speak their voice on how they feel about that particular issue.
And can I say this also? There are a lot of great ideas out in our community right now. I think we're starting to learn that federal, state, and local government is where great ideas go to die. This is a plan using communication technology that will allow great ideas to thrive in our community. So that's how we want to use technology, so that we can really empower the people in our community and give them a real and equal voice. There's no way our representatives can represent us without communication. It's totally impossible. And that's why over 80% of the people in our community don't participate in the voting process, because they feel as though the system doesn't work for them, and they feel as though their representatives don't represent them. This is the information that our representatives need so that they can truly do their job.
And you wouldn't have to be super high-tech or even have a smartphone.
Exactly. You could do it on a house phone if you have a touch-tone phone still.
Yeah, we're
I know
voting
not
on
many people do anymore, but I still.
My rotary dial.
I actually have one of those.
Yeah, we're voting on American Idol. We vote on Dancing with the Stars, CNN, Fox, and all types of venues. We've got to start voting on issues that affect our lives here in our community. That's what this plan will do.
Is this the same plan that was proposed last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was?
By
Yes.
Henry? Yes.
That would include a weekly or maybe daily public access television show?
Yeah, on public broadcast.
Correct. I think it should be shown at least 3 different times at 1 week, so you can get the opinions of the people that are home during the morning the people that are home in the afternoon, and then again for the people that are home in the evening, because people work different shifts. Not everybody can make it to a council meeting on a weeknight because they might be at work or home with the children. This would give them a chance to watch it on the TV, on a local channel that everyone gets, and get them the ability to put their opinion out about it, whether they approve of it or not.
So this is originally going to start on Channel 99, which is public access. Once the bugs have been worked out, then it will air on Channel 34,
Right.
which you can pick up with just an antenna on your
Correct.
television, correct?
Right, everybody will be able to get Channel 34, whether you have cable, dish, or nothing, you can get it. And that's why it's so important that we use public broadcasting. It's the only non-commercial broadcasting station, and it's actually owned by we the people. It's financed by the people in our community.
So if this is voted through, when would this whole project start?
As soon as possible.
We would really like to initiate it as soon as we're allowed to. We want to get the finance rolling, we want to get the project rolling, but you have to be out there voting for the person that's standing behind it before you could ever get it initiated.
So if you are elected, Kelly, this is something you would vote for and
This
put
is
your
one of the
stamp of
plans that I
approval
would
on?
put out there priority.
Just for Kelly, is there any concern, and this was addressed previously, but I'm curious your perspective, any concern about possible manipulation of the system?
Well, that's why you'd be receiving an ID. Each person would have a specific ID of their own. When you vote, there would be like voting for your mayor or your council member. You can only vote once by showing your identification. With having an ID number to punch into the system, when you contact it, you won't be able to call back again. You'll only be able to vote on each item once.
Corporations are already using this technology. The banks, the credit card companies, almost all corporations are using
Well, it's
it.
the same program they're using for the Dancing with the Stars plan. You can't vote more than once for that.
Do you believe that?
I would like to. I mean, there's gonna be bugs to work out, nothing's perfect. That's why we have to get it rolling and get the plan working and get the programs out there to make sure everything's gonna go the way it is meant to work. Because we don't want a double vote by one person, obviously.
Yeah, this is just the Model T, and it's going to get better and better and better. And, you know, right now, with this plan, we can take 267,000 people in St. Joe County to the voting booths without starting one single vehicle. This is the vehicle to get people to participate.
And it'll get more people registered to actually vote.
So this is no difference than an ordinance that comes before the council on a regular basis where someone says, hey, look, you know, this doesn't sound right, and it passes and they implement it, but then they can come back and revisit it to tweak any issues that might need to be
This
tweaked.
would be those ordinances. We would have them aired so that people would have the ability to say, yeah, I agree with that, or no, I do not agree with that, we don't need that. So the council has the ability to know what the people they represent actually want in their city.
How would you, and I know this has come up before too, how would you ensure that the people who are providing their opinions through the system are representative of the city as a whole and not maybe just a, fringe group?
Well, like I said, this is purely going to be a We the People program. If they call, they're gonna have the ability to have their voice. If they don't call, that'll be their decision, just like with voting for a council member or the mayor or your president even. Each person has the right to make the decision to call or not call. We can't determine that everyone will. We would like them all to. I would love to see more engagement from the community, and I think that this program, once more people know about it and it gets running on a regular basis, it'll become more prominent, and you'll get more votes coming from people, so you'll have a more vast idea of what people really do want.
I know the program, when it was proposed previously, there was a startup cost of maybe around $600,000, and then there were some ongoing operational costs that maybe exceeded $50,000 or so. How would you pay for that?
There are TIF funds to help with any of these programs out there.
And right now Comcast is paying the city almost $900,000 a year expressly for something like this, to give the people in our community a voice. Unfortunately, that money is being thrown into the general fund, and it's really not being used to give us a voice. So the money's here. The city council is spending $308 to $10 million a year. For another 600,000 of that, they can really start to represent the people. And I think if the truth be known, each council person is representing over 10,000 people. They don't have time to talk to 10,000 people, and 10,000 people They don't even know what the issues are that are going through our community at any time.
To go back to your suggestion of TIF funds, TIF funds are generally intended to support economic development. Do you see this as
It
consistent
is
with
economic,
that?
it is development,
It
it
is.
is the city helping decide the things the council is going to be voting on, and the council votes on various economic issues. The people should have the right to be a part of that issue and
Well,
that decision.
And this will also include business owners, and this is a big point, because this will give business owners a voice that they've never had. That's why you see so many businesses in our community and communities around the country failing. Business owners don't have a voice. I owned a business for 15 years. When I got out of business, people said, "What are you going to do next?" I said, "I'll never go into business again," because they're taxed to death. This will give them a voice to be able to say no to some of those unfair taxes. And on the taxes that they do pay, it will give them a voice to decide where they want their tax monies to go and not go.
And have you faced any opposition to this plan?
Well, we have.
I tried to get the mayor to sit down with me 4 years ago. I won the Dr. Martin Luther King Award here in our community and the Logan Center Community Service Award. I sent him a letter 4 years ago, and over the last 4 years, I've been trying to sit down with him and go over this plan that really he ran on a platform of transparency and accessibility and accountability, but he won't even talk about it. I'm just so thankful that we have a mayoral candidate that believes enough in the people and the technology that we have to really push something like this forward. It's got to happen. I mean, our community's in big trouble.
Why do you think there would be pushback for this kind of plan? Because it seems like something that'd be beneficial to everybody.
Because it would be a plan that would require accountability within the city government, and there's really not a lot of accountability right now.
As mayor, to what extent would you take into account the results of this polling that would go on through this?
I would 100% consider what the citizens want, because reality is, when someone is the mayor, they are nothing more than an employee of 100,000 people of that town. And you should be following through with what the citizens want, not just what the needs are. You gotta weigh the pros and the cons of everything. And the citizens should have the right to have a voice on what's being done within their city.
So there's been a lot of people who have voiced their opposition to what's happened on Lincoln Way West and the so-called smart streets, and now on Western Avenue, people are also speaking out on the west side. So you feel as though this tool would have given the city a better outlook on what the people in those areas wanted, and if they would have used that to their advantage, we wouldn't have the people that are outraged right now?
Well, here's my thoughts on that. Unlike smart streets and other current and previous mayoral ideas, we'll let voters chime in on issues about how their tax dollars will be spent before spending that money. The citizens will have input that actually will help improve project design and even legislative decision-making. And everybody really does know how I feel about the smart streets. So.
I don't screw it up. Your name.
My name's David Frank,
Spell your last name for me.
F-R-A-N-K.
You're just a
Like
helper.
Frank's
or
Hot Rod.
Pardon me?
Helper? What would your title be?
I've been an activist here in the community for 25 years. I used to do a radio program called Stand Up America, and I do a TV program called Frankly Speaking, where we explain to people in our community that we have the technology, we need to use it and bring our system into the 21st century.
Kelly, you said that you would vote for Henry. Is that an endorsement?
Yes. I think Henry knows what people want, and that's what I'm here for, is because I want the people to have their voice, and their government should represent them. We don't want a rubber stamp community. We don't want a council of all one political party, because we're literally going to have a rubber stamp council. We need someone outside that rubber stamp, and Henry has always been there to question everything that happens, and I think that's a good thing.
Will you be doing anything concrete to support his campaign in the coming days before the election?
I'll be working with him in some areas, I'm sure. Nothing has been fully determined at this point.
That it?
Thank you for your time, everyone.